This is Don from hzscribe, and I am here today with a plan with me for scripture writing. And this is for the week of February the 24th through March the 1st. And I am going to decorate first this time. I alternate between decorating my page as well as writing my scripture first. So last week I wrote scripture first, and this week I am going to decorate. And I'm going to do very similar to last week. I'm going to do a vertical theme. Trying to think if I want to cover the numbers, and I think I do. You know what, I'm going to use my whiteout first. So I want to cover those up. Like I've mentioned before, my scripture writing is based on my reading of the Bible and where I'm at. And so I read the Bible through chronological each year because that helps me a lot to understand the story. I read it in different versions, and different methods, from the arrangement that is in the canon. But there's different types of books, and they're arranged based on the type of the book, whether it's the law, whether it's wisdom, epistles, all those different things. And they have their place to read it that way too, and I've done that. But I find, for me, I like it better reading in chronological order because it just helps me remember what came first, what came next. And so I'm writing my scriptures based on that. And if anybody's interested in my plan, I can give you a copy of that. Sorry, I'm just trying to cut off this edge, and I didn't cut too well. But if you are interested, I can give you a copy of that, as well as the verses that I'm going to be writing for the year. And this is the first time I'm actually using my scripture writing to correspond with what I'm reading. Typically, I do it on different things. And I'm also doing a word study, which I will show some of those videos on that one as well. So I'm going to use this black washing. This comes from the Bible journaling, one of these tubes that I got from Tuesday Morning by American Crafts. I don't know which one I was in. I mixed them up, unfortunately. And I am going to add a couple flowers. Now, I like the decorations, but they're not the critical thing for me. The main thing is actually writing the scriptures, and even with the writing the scriptures, the main thing is to actually study the scriptures. So that's why I'm working on this one with corresponding to what I read. Writing a verse from out of the chapters, because typically when I read the Bible for a year, it averages out to about 3 chapters a day, which is really doable because it's only about 10 to 15 minutes, and we all have 10 to 15 minutes. We all do, and yes, it's a test. It also helps me remain disciplined, I think, by doing that as well. But I strongly encourage, got some ink down already. I strongly encourage people to do that because, one, it's going to amaze you how much the Bible answers so many questions. And some of the voices that we hear in Christian, not really saying everything that's always accurate sometimes. They misquote scriptures, and people get mad with God because they say, this scripture said, I can do all things. And then when you read it in context, you realize what it's actually talking about. So, that's one of the dangers sometimes about writing scriptures and not reading the whole chapter or knowing the audience that was been spoken to, and the author and the time period. Those other things really help bring that to life and help you to understand some things are promises or some things are just historical. So knowing the difference makes a difference, and knowing what you're reading. Oops, didn't get enough ink on that one. So let's see. Anything else I want to put up here? But I think the word is so rich. It is so... Truly, this is such a blessed thing to have the opportunity to read. In some countries you can't even read the word. And as Christians here in this country, we do, myself included, have been guilty of neglecting the word. And other countries, the people have to actually fight, for that word. And we actually have it, and we're able to buy it and purchase it and read it and freely. Of course, time's going to change. That's going to change too. But at the moment, we have the opportunity to learn the word, and we really should take advantage of doing that. Alright, so I am going to just cover up some of this, and I think I'm going to go to the edge and then stop, and then I will come back, and I am going to, after I lay this down, then I will write my scriptures, and I might add some more additional decorations. I don't know. Just depends. So I do encourage you, if you have the opportunity, to read the word and study the word. And there's so many different methods, and everybody learns differently, so you don't have to learn the same way or as rapid as someone else. Don't feel like it's a competition. I think God knows your effort, and so I think that's the main thing, is that you try. And you ask God, you pray, ask Him to help you to remember and to retain. That is one of the advantages of writing scriptures, that it helps you, just like in any art, any type of learning, writing it down, it helps you to retain it. Drawing it actually is powerful. They've done research that when you draw something freehand, even if you can't draw, and if you draw as a kindergartner, like most of us, that your brain actually remembers it better. Because again, as you're using different modalities to help that information be stored into your brain. So, just doodling, sermon notes and things like that too. Don't get caught up in the details and it's got to be perfect and beautiful, because get caught up in that. But I'm saying, actually, in your study time, if you go back and try to study scripture that way, it helps you to retain it, especially if you're struggling with it, to remember it. I would encourage you to try something like that. So, different color combination for me. I am going to color those flowers, I think, and I'll probably use my mid liners just to do that, because I know they won't bleed through. And what else do I want to add? I think I'm going to go and write the scripture and then come back and see how much space I have. I don't want to add anything else, so I will be right back. Okay, so here's my final. I ended up using some more elements from this sticker set, the heart, and that arrow. As you can see, I colored them in with my mid liners. So yeah, just add a little bit more color, and that's the stamp there. And add the numbers from my Faith Illustrated books of the Bible, as you can see, for Numbers and Deuteronomy. And I just used my Enjoy black pen for that. So this is the week of February the 24th, and of course this year we had a leap year all the way down to March 1. So this primarily came from the book of Numbers. It's based on my chronological reading, and so started Deuteronomy on the 28th, and I usually read 3 chapters a day in order to read the Bible in a year. And I just kind of pick a verse to kind of highlight some of the things that are going on during that period of reading. Sometimes it's really hard to choose because there's so many different critical verses, but this is a really famous verse. Deuteronomy 4:6 is known as Shema. Hear, Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord. That is essential to the Judaism and to Christianity as well. But that was a turning point in them really recognizing themselves as the Hebrews and a called out people, that they serve one God. So anyway, that is my scripture right now. I love it. It's very colorful, and I think it turned out really pretty. So anyway, thanks for liking, watching, and subscribing. Sorry about that, Claire. And